Podcast review assignment, Legal Issues in Sports by Philip McKibbins. What are the NFL's biggest legal issues? A conversation with Sports Illustrated's Peter King. And this was a podcast from April 2nd, 2015 with our host, Zach Abramowitz, and his guest, Peter King. Zach Abramowitz is a co-founder and CEO of Reply All Me, and that it is the first broadcasting platform that makes creating content as easy as emailing with friends. Zach is an avid Texas fan and loves 60 Minutes. Peter King, who was the person being interviewed, is a sports writer for Sports Illustrated. He's the author of the weekly column Monday Morning Quarterback. He's a member of Football Night in America, an NBC Sunday night NFL studio show, a regular radio contributor to Mad Dog Unleashed, the Dan Patrick Show, and ESPN's Mike and Mike, and he's a member of the Board of Selectors for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. In the podcast, Zach posed a question: what's the biggest legal issue facing the NFL today? Is it still concussions and player safety? Where Peter King said he thinks the biggest thing the league will be dealing with, at least for the next decade, is the issue of player safety and long-term player health. And he referenced the Chris Borland retirement as an example. Zach then transitioned the podcast where he started talking about the recent settlement of $685 million over head trauma to the various players in the league. So he posed the question: do you have any sense, do the league's lawyers feel that they'll be able to get the judge to sign off on a head trauma settlement? And Peter King said he does think the league will ultimately settle and that the delay is concerning the league at this point. And he also believes that the judge will approve the $685 million settlement. So from there, Zach started asking him a little bit about the NBA, and he's basically saying that NBA owners also complained about losing money, but right after the purchase of the Clippers for $2 billion, it seems like the NBA is trending upwards and has benefited from the reputation of the NFL of being a dangerous sport. So Peter King said, look, the NBA could benefit, but football is still king. It's the most watched program in the history of American television. So from there, Zach started asking him a little bit about what's going on in the world where, like, states of Indiana have recently passed a law against LGBTQ people. So he posed a question: what's the fallout of that law? And Peter King basically said, look, the law's been changed. And that the state has clarified that businesses cannot discriminate against gays. And from a league standpoint, this solves a problem for major sports leagues. The reference for this is the podcast, What Are the NFL's Biggest Legal Issues? A conversation with Sports Illustrated's Peter King.